Okay, I've been save scumming. As you do in these stories. Possibly I haven't been save scumming hard enough though. I guess I'll start this over again because it is confusing what saves are what. I ate recently. I'm not eating on stream again. I'm going to avoid that from now on. Also, I had dental fillings today, and my face was numb for a while. It probably won't affect my 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 totally very good enunciation. It probably won't affect that right now since it's worn off, but it might make my enunciation a little bit worse. Okay, there are 2 endings left. The rain never seems to cease at this time of the year. It pours from the sky in its unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, enough so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. The woman sat beside a man with an imposing brow and a large beard. The man wheezed and coughed, but kept hold of the newspaper in his hands. The front page read the following: The Great Plague of London, 7,000 deceased. The man frowned at the words. Oh, wait, no, we went over this. Oh, whoops. I will skip. Wait, how far is it gonna skip? I'm always having fun when we're together, Amelie. Ah, I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Just as much. Indeed. Come along, Lilica. Let us prepare tea. Did you finish the baking yesterday? The pastries are ready for serving. Excellent. I'll fetch the tea then. Allow me. A lady of your standing shouldn't be doing such a menial task, should she? Don't be absurd. Even Sophia herself seems to be fine in the kitchen. Did you hear how she jumps to help? I should follow in her footsteps. What would your parents think of that? I appreciate the sentiment, but they took with them all of the staff. I have little choice but to prepare my own tea. I see. Then I shall attend to our guests. I wouldn't want her to become lonely. Would you? I'll only be a few moments. Of course, anything for you, Amelie. It will be a good chance for you to become friends too. I'm sure it will be. Lilica's smile at that moment seems to hide behind it an intent much deeper than Amelie realized. So, when it skipped to the sever her fate part, I was able to continue the text without actually clicking sever her fate. I wonder if this changes anything. The walls had eyes. Eyes that tracked Lilica's every move. They followed her as she made careful, deliberate steps towards the sitting room. They stared, their eyes bulging, judging. They had no mouths in which to scream, but Lilika could still hear their words. We all sacrificed ourselves for you. Hope, our only hope. Amelie, protect Amelie. Prove your worth, prove your love. Amelie. 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 Under her feet, shattered glass pierced through her shoes, cutting her feet. She could feel the blood ooze out, pooling. It was warm, comforting. She looked up to find where the glass had come from. Then she noticed the cracks once again. Along every wall, every floorboard, even through the air. The world was fragmented. It was already broken. Not beyond repair. It's not, my lady. I will fix this still. You can rest. Please rest. I will take care of everything. Anything and everything for you. She blinked. The world reverted to the way it should. The glass that lined the floor gone. The eyes that followed from the walls gone. Excuse me. And the cracks that had begun to wrap themselves around Lilika's ankles had disappeared too. She stood in front of the sitting room's door, which sat slightly ajar. Inside, Lilika could see Sophia staring out of the large window. Her back stayed turned as Lilika entered the room. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible for Sophia to turn and look at her, but Lilika still found herself taking careful, quiet steps. The window shook past the dark, thick curtains. You who would attempt to defy your fate, why don't we see how long this little game lasts? Why don't we test whose love is stronger? I swear, my love is unwavering, my infatuation, my yearning, my desire. You could never even wish to match it. Lilika pulled out a chair roughly, dragging the legs across the floor. Yet you dare to challenge me. You dare to test my love. Amelie, was that you? Amelie? Sophia took careful steps towards the chair, resting her hand against it. Or Lilika. You're nothing. Sophia sat down in the chair that was offered to her, while Lilika circled around as if a cat after its prey. But her steps paused as she heard something strange. Footsteps from above. The master bedroom? In front of her very eyes, Lilika watched the scene unfold. A scene that made her blood run cold and her body freeze in place. My lady. The lady of the house stood beside Lilika. Where before the two had stood eye to eye, now the lady stood taller than Lilika by at least a head. My lady, what are you doing here? The lady removed her shoes and stepped onto the table. Did you come to punish me? Are you angry? I promise I will remove the plague that has entered our home. I swear it upon my undying love. The lady did not respond. Instead, she reached up and took hold of the noose. The rope wrapped around her neck, exactly where the necklace that the maid had gifted the lady should have rested. Join me. Her eyes locked onto Sophia's. Her hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. I be worried. There is a little bit of frightening imagery in this visual novel. Why won't you look at me, my lady? Are you truly so angry? Angry enough to despise me? For but a moment, as Sophia's outstretched hand came closer and closer, the lady's eyes turned slowly towards Lilica. They carried with it a message that only Lilica could decipher. Lilica's body shook. It trembled and trembled until she could bear it no more, and she ran from the room as fast as her legs would carry her. If the hallway still had eyes, they weren't fast enough to follow Lilica. The floorboards, as if made of quicksand, threatened to suck her up and to bury her deep within the house. Her feet felt heavy and leaden. Every step was as painful as that brief glance. She raced through the hall and up a flight of stairs. Past the stained glass window, which left a myriad of colors over the carpeted steps, and past the doors that led to the master bedroom and Amelie's room. Closer, closer, until she arrived at a bookcase. She pushed it to the side and entered the hidden room. The room behind the bookcase was small, as not a single window faced outwards. Thus the room was near pitch black. Each wall was plastered with handwritten letters. Handwritten letters clearly for Lilica alone. So I was definitely here. However, I want to be a little extra careful. Her eyes, frantic, finally started to calm as she took in the words. Her words left to her, for her, only for her. Lilica's eye settled on a particular letter. I wonder if the order matters. So, whoops. So we have been over this. What happens if I click skip now? What happens if I stop reading immediately? She ripped the letter from the wall and clutched it to her chest, collapsing to her knees. She couldn't hate me. She couldn't. She adores me like I adore her. She entrusted her everything to me. Everything. Her everything. Amelie. The letter dropped from her fingers that were neither cold nor warm. You want me to get rid of that disease, don't you? You won't accept me until I protect Amelie. Is that right, my lady? I'd do anything you asked. So if that's all I have to do, then I will do it. I'll keep Amelie safe forever. Lilica stood from the ground and dusted off her skirt. Her face that had previously contorted in distress had finally calmed, and a smile gently crept onto her face. I'm going to click skip again. Lilica walked toward an open cabinet and pulled something out. The metal of the razor glinted. Lilica raised it up and she moved to stand over the bath. With ease, the metal cut into her arm. Drops of blood fell into the water, leaving tiny splashes where they connected. Blood still runs in my veins after all. Sophia rushed past Lilica, desperate to turn off the overflowing water before she froze again. The water was a deep, dark red. Her slender fingers dipped into the liquid as if she were in trance. One layer at a time she stripped bare, her expression hollow and lifeless. Lilica watched as her naked body stepped into the crimson water. Why not just end it here? You're scared, aren't you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it. A knock came from the door. Lilica's widened eyes went from the door to the young woman in the bath, then back again. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Lilica ducked behind the folding screen just in time to hear the door open. Sophia, I knocked, but I didn't hear a reply. I've brought you a towel. Ah! She didn't wait any longer. As Amelie stepped into the room to set down the towel, Lilica quietly dashed out into the hall. Before Lilica had a chance to even catch her breath, the bathroom door opened once again, and Amelie stepped out with flushed cheeks. Did you tell her that she must depart? No, Is something the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Your face is bright red. Sophia will stay until she decides to leave. No, she must leave now. Tonight, no longer. I'm going to click skip again. Wait, what's going on? Is this killing game? I mean, death certainly happens and has happened in this game. Let's see what happens if we deny her fate. She doesn't belong to you. Lilica? Finally, Lilica snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing a short distance away from her, looking worried. Instantly, she took a deep breath and composed herself. But her heart still beat as loud as a drum, and the cracks that seemed to be centered around Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone else around, isn't it? I feel as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I am sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. The hallway was darkened with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way. And Lilica relished in it. On a night like this, long ago in the past, she had sealed her fate along with Amelie's. And tonight she would seal the fate of yet another person. Wait, what ending are we? Are we speeding towards the same ending we got last time? Good night, Amelie. Tomorrow everything will be better, so sleep well. Lilica steeled her resolve and stepped out of the bedroom. Oh, I'm not allowed to skip here. She first went back to the guest room and put her ear to the door. No sounds could be heard from behind it. Then she noticed something. Someone else walking down the hallway unsteadily. Lilica followed closely behind through the darkness. The other person was only a shadow, their features obscured and hidden. The sound of her light steps on the old wooden floorboards mixed in with the rain that was still raging just outside those walls. The kitchen was by the stairwell. That's right, by the stairwell. But you aren't going to the kitchen, are you? Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall. It seemed as if their eyes moved to follow Lilica's every move. Sophia stared up the grand staircase. She seemed as if she were entranced with each and every step. They are waiting for you. Those two people, they're calling for you. Go on, go to them. Sophia's unsteady hand reached for the banister. Her ascent was slow and careful, her eyes fixed on that door. That special door. That room where the maid had met her end, and her most hated person rested beside her. That room where she had made a promise to the person she loved. Lilica needed only to reach into the kitchen to procure the item that was waiting for her. She had waited for her all this time, since Sophia had arrived. Sorry? Lilica needed only to reach into the kitchen to procure the item that was waiting for her, had been waiting for her all this time since Sophia had arrived. A knife with dark, aged stains over the blade and hilt. Long had it sat there, festering, waiting. Desperate for more blood. Like a hunter stalking her prey, Lilica followed behind Sophia, the knife gripped tightly in her hands. The two stood side by side, staring at the door to the master bedroom. It was shut tight, as it had been for countless years. Sophia trembled. With a smile, Lilica reached over to give her arm a squeeze. Go on. You want to know the truth, don't you? You can hear their voices. I'll allow you this much. With a careful motion, Sophia pushed the door open. All at once, countless memories came flooding back, of love, hope, of the future, and of death. Sophia disappeared into the dark room, the only light being a candle she carried in her hands. A family of mice ran out from the room and down the stairs. The taste of freedom was oh so sweet for them. More quiet than the mice that had escaped, Lilica followed Sophia into the room. Wax dripped from the burning candle onto the wooden floor. She trembled as she reached with shaky hands to the bed. And at the same moment, Lilica swung the door closed behind them, and the room plunged into darkness. But that darkness didn't matter to Lilica, not to she, who knew this room like the back of her hand. Amelie, is that you? Amelie isn't here to save you. Sophia's eyes searched the room to no avail. I'm sorry I came in here after you asked me not to. I'll just go now, okay? The pale-haired woman fell back onto the bed before she had a moment to react. The yellowed bones of the lord of the manor and the maid rattled underneath her. Flesh long deteriorated. Lilica smiled. How long has it been since I last saw myself truly? But what? Ah! Ah! It looks like we're finally meeting, Sophia. With a leg on either side of her, Lilica held Sophia down to the bed, still smiling. She tried to squirm, to escape, to run free. Her eyes were filled with terror. You won't take her away from me. Sophia's scream became a muffled cry, before finally extinguishing fully. Finally. My lady, did you see? Are you watching? I've saved her. I've saved Amelie. Only when Lilica tried to stand did she notice it. An aged bone poking out from her stomach. Dark liquid dripped out from around it. With a slight frown, Lilica pulled it free. Ugh. It's okay. It'll be okay. Lilica closed her eyes. I'm just a little tired. I'll just sleep for a bit. Her eyes grew heavy, so heavy. So heavy that the only option would be to sleep at this very moment. How could you do that? Lilica, why? Why? Why would you hurt Amelie like that? Why did you kill Amelie? Ah! Her eyes opened with a start, her heart racing faster than it had ever raced before. The room seemed to be spinning, and her head throbbing. Then she saw it. Lying on the bed between the two skeletons was the body of a young woman. A young woman with long brown hair. Her dress was stained red. Amelie. No, that's not. Who did this? Who, Sophia? Amelie, wake up. Wake. She blinked, and the young woman below her disappeared. In her place, Sophia appeared. The room was still dark. Not even a drop of sunlight peeked through the covered windows. What a cruel trick of the eyes. She stepped out from the master bedroom just as Amelie did the same right next door. Good morning, Lilica. I was just on my way to see if Sophia had awakened yet. Amelie. Sophia disappeared during the night, I believe. She went to the same place your parents went. What? That cannot be right. Don't run, Amelie. Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quickly on the door to the guest bedroom, which fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was disheveled, and her luggage was strewn about. It's not true. She wouldn't just leave without saying goodbye. Dearie me, I'm sorry. I told you it was a bad idea for anyone to visit, didn't I? Oh, Lilica, this isn't fair. I thought she said we would... There, come here. Lilica wrapped her thin arms around the young woman, gently patting her on the back. See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. I won't ever leave you. Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes. We'll be together forever. Amelie froze in Lilica's arms before pulling back completely. What's happened to your face? My face? Lilika's hands went to her face instantly. Is something wrong? Amelie's expression had darkened, her mouth shut firmly in a line. My face. Pulling a small mirror from her pocket, Lilika finally saw it. A black void of nothingness, where her face should have been. She turned and ran, down the hall and up the stairs before Lilika could even call out after her. The void seems to seep out from her very skin, oozing, leaking out from the wound at her stomach. That disease-ridden hag. Amelie, wait! It's okay, everything will be healed. Lilika's hand that reached out towards Amelie fell to her side. At the top of the staircase, in this manner, in the middle of a field, far out in the countryside, Amelie stood in an open doorway that hadn't been opened to her in more years than she could truly imagine. And inside, she witnessed a sight she never should have. Her eyes hollow and her body petrified.
Oh, wait.
Sophia. Amelie, this isn't... Stay away from me! Her long brown hair cascaded out around her as Amelie rushed into her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Lilika rushed up the staircase, banging her fists against the locked door. Amelie, this is all a misunderstanding. She wanted to hurt you. I've saved you. She fell to her knees, her fists still pounding on the wooden door. A muffled sob came from within, then silence. The void surrounded Lilika, flowing from her wound and wrapping itself around her body. She curled into a ball. The sound of a chair hitting the ground inside the bedroom was the last sound Lilika heard before her eyes closed and she became one with the void. Lilika, 2 out of 3. One with the void. Only one ending left to get, I believe. It shouldn't be too hard. What if we allow her fate? She doesn't belong to you. Lilika? Finally, Lilika snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing... Oh wait, can I skip here? As her hand rested against the door, a sudden pang went through Lilika's cold heart. She is important to you, isn't she? Of course. Her words have always been something that have brightened my day. Even if she were to leave. Leave? Well, I believe she'll leave eventually, Lilika. There's little choice, really. All I can do is hope she'll visit again. I see. Good night, Amelie. Sleep well. Whatever Amelie said in reply was lost in the darkness as Lilika stepped out of the bedroom. As she left the room, she noticed it. A dark shadow stalking through the night, slowly creeping through the hall. Lilika frowned. My lady, you must forgive me. I've rarely seen Amelie so happy. But she cannot stay. No, she must leave immediately, and I will make her. She stood on the grand staircase, outlined in the moon's glow. Sophia, you can't see me, can't hear me. But you can sense me, can you not? The shadow paused, her eyes going up to the staircase. There, she saw a shadow warp strangely across the carpeted steps. You will leave this place immediately, and you will never come back. Lilika? The blonde girl pushed a vase from a step, and it crashed to the ground below, smashing into tiny pieces. Sophia jumped in response, a shiver running down her spine. I won't warn you again. Leave. Slowly and unsteadily, Sophia crept up the stairs, till her face was almost close enough to touch Lilika's. Is that you, Lilika? In a small motion, Lilika dropped something from her sleeve. It clattered to the ground at Sophia's feet. She gripped at her shirt even more tightly. This is your last chance. I don't care whether you live or die. This is only a favor to Amelie. As if her nerves had finally got the best of her, Sophia turned on the spot and ran, back down the staircase and into the dark hall. Lilika followed behind her, slamming doors and knocking things down to the ground. Sophia, too scared to even turn around, ran as fast as her legs would take her until she reached the front door. Instead of being locked and closed up tightly, it sat open, as if waiting for her to leave. She didn't waste even a single second more, and she was gone. She's gone. Gone. I did it, Amelie, I did it. You did what? Did you? This isn't what it looks like, Amelie. Please listen to me. Did you force her to leave? No, I'm going after her. Lilika jumped in front of the door, arms spread wide. You can't. Why? It is unsafe to do so. You belong here with me, together. I've had enough of this and that being unsafe. Lilika, either you move to the side or any friendship I thought we had is gone. Lilika wavered. Her arms, which had held such conviction, began to droop. I have always done what's best for you, have I not? All this time, have I not remained at your side? Please, trust me, I only did what I had to do. So this is what you've decided. Don't come near me again. Amelie turned her back on the blonde-haired woman, who dropped to her knees as she watched her leave. Amelie. Good night, Lilika. Darkness filled every inch of her brain. A voice screamed out from inside of her, mocking her. This isn't right. My lady, this isn't right. Didn't I do the right thing? I let her go. I did her a favor, but Amelie is upset. Her lady offered her no answer. Is this punishment for not doing as you wished? Sophia should have died. She should have died. Should have died. Died. But now she is alive and Amelie is angry. In that dark room, all alone, Lilika clutched onto something. Something she kept hidden in a closet, away from any prying eyes. She held it tighter. Its green dress fell apart at her touch. Can't you make this all better again? Can't we make her forget? Her forehead fell down and rested against the other person's shoulder. They remained silent, as they had been for many long years. I'm sorry, I'll make it all better. We can make her forget, can't we? Can't we start again? Just like before, we can start again. Lilika stood, placing the skeleton of her lady carefully back in the closet. Keep waiting for me. I promise I'll make everything right again. Let's start again, Amelie. You and me forever. Lilika walked into the room, holding a tray carefully in her hands. On it sat a teapot and 2 cups. Amelie, I have brought the tea. Excellent. It smells delicious. Amelie smiled brightly, filling Lilika with happiness in return. Lilika, may I ask you something? Of course. I found this letter by the front door. Do you know where it came from? Amelie held out an envelope. The front was blank. How strange. Perhaps it was delivered here by accident? Lilika took it from her and opened it. At the bottom, it was signed, Yours always, Sophia. Yes, it seems to be for someone else. I'll mail it back, yes? Thank you, Lilika. I appreciate it. Finished with her tea, Amelie stood first and left the room. Lilika smiled. From under the table, she pulled out a stack of envelopes that seemed to match the one Amelie had given her. And all at once, she threw them into the fireplace. Goodbye, Sophia. Is this really okay? What about the future? Should you try again? Yes. The room was dark. Amelie had long gone to bed, leaving Sophia alone in her room. She ducked her head under the cover and pulled out her phone, still dead. Sophia clutched it to her chest. What do I do? What exactly is going on here? Sophia's body stiffened up. Her back was to the door, but her mind screamed not to turn around. Footsteps crept closer, closer and closer until... Stay away from me! Ah! Sophia threw her bedding at the approaching person and jumped to her feet, ready to run. But the person she saw collapse to the ground was not the person she was expecting. Oh my gosh, Amelie! I'm so sorry! Sophia knelt down, quickly helping the brown-headed girl to her feet. It's quite all right. I didn't mean to scare you. I apologize. No, it's my fault. I'm too jumpy. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Sophia's arms draped over Amelie's shoulders, and she pulled her in tight. Amelie froze for just a moment before she melted into the embrace. I'm here. But is everything all right? No, I don't think everything's all right. What could be the matter? Amelie, my phone died as soon as my cab approached your house. Do you see? She pulled out her phone, showing her the black screen. What exactly is that? My mobile. Emily picked it up curiously, turning it in her hands. You've never seen a phone? What is it used for? For texting, making calls, playing games, those kinds of things. Amazing. Amelie, what year is it? What year? Why do you ask? Please. 1665, of course. Of course. Sophia took a step back from Amelie. What is it? Amelie, This makes no sense. Lilica, this house, you. Amelie, it's 2021. What? Sophia, that's preposterous. Oh my god. She fell back onto the bed, her legs not able to hold her up any longer. Oh my god, Amelie, you're not joking. You're really... Are you feeling unwell? Maybe you need to get some rest after all. Amelie, please listen to me. Out there, the world has changed. We have phones, cars, computers. We don't need a husband. We don't need permission to buy a house. You can go to school, get a job, do whatever you want. I know I probably sound crazy to you right now, but please, I'm telling you the truth. You're trying to tell me that nearly 400 years have passed and I've been stuck here? How would that even be possible? I don't know. Amelie, how long have we been writing to each other? Well, I don't know. It's been 5 years. I need to find Lilica. You'll know what's going on here. No, wait. You can't ask Lilica. Why not? I can't see Lilica, Amelie. I haven't seen her once. But she's been here from the start. I've only seen you in this house, Amelie. Something is going on within this house that has kept you stuck here, and I think she is the one who has done it to you. Damn, girls are gonna have a bunch of culture to catch up on. That can't be true. Then why don't we find out together? How? The master bedroom. Lilica was the one who said you couldn't enter, wasn't she? Please. Sophia reached out her hand carefully. Amelie stared at it, unsure before deciding to take it. I don't understand what's going on, but I trust you. Let's go. The hallway was still dark, with no sign of Lilica anywhere. If she appears, then tell me, okay? Okay. Hand in hand, the two walked quickly through the hall and up the staircase. There they stood in front of the master bedroom, side by side. Their hands were sweaty. No matter what's in here, I'll be by your side, okay? Amelie offered no words, instead just squeezing Sophia's hands gently. And at that, Sophia pushed the door open. Unprotected hand-holding. Yeah, unprotected hand-holding. Just like the rest of the house, the room was dark and quiet. Only the moon shining in from the dirty window guided the two in. It smelled musty, as if they were in a tomb only just uncovered, not a bedroom. They crept closer and closer to the bed. It was surrounded completely by the canopy, keeping whatever was inside it hidden. With a shaky hand, Sophia reached towards the light velvet. At once, the truth came into view. Amelie gasped and almost fell to her knees, but Sophia's hand kept her steady. I'm sorry, Amelie. But they left. They left only a few weeks ago. It looks like they've been gone for a very long time. Amelie, I know this is hard to believe. I find it just as hard to believe as you do. Please, we have to leave this house. Now, before Lilica finds us. She knew. I think that you've been bound to this house by her. We need to find a way to leave. Okay. The two only got halfway down the stairs when Amelie grounded to a halt. Sophia turned to look at her eyes wide in surprise, only to see that Amelie's expression was one of immense fear. Lilica, what are you two doing out of bed? Lilica, So, you went in there. She nodded upstairs. You lied to me. Only to keep you happy. Happiness with lies as their foundation isn't true happiness. And why not? We've been perfectly happy here for longer than you've even existed, and you come along and... I'm sorry, Amelie. I'm so sorry. Lilica burst into tears, wiping at her eyes with her sleeve in a desperate attempt to stop them from overflowing. Lilica. Wait, Amelie, don't. Amelie took a step towards Lilica, as if to comfort her. Please don't leave me, Amelie. Can't we stay here together? Amelie, she's lying to you. She wants to keep you trapped here, please. But... Please. Amelie! Sophia pulled on Amelie's arm, forcing her to turn to face her. Amelie's eyes were filled with confusion. I know you two have been together for a long time. I know I can't compete with that, but I want to give you the life you deserve. You deserve to be free, to live, to experience everything you've missed out on. Not to be stuck in time here forever. And the truth is, Whatever words were coming next were lost before they were even spoken as Sophia leaned forward and placed a gentle kiss against Amelie's lips. The cries from below extinguished in an instant as Lilica watched on in horror. But just for a moment, the rest of the world melted away, and all that existed were the two of them. Amelie and Sophia. Amelie closed her eyes. The sensation was new and foreign, yet not unwanted. Butterflies were let loose in both of their stomachs. Where they connected, heat spread throughout their bodies. And then Sophia pulled away. The truth is, Amelie, I have liked you for a very long time. And even if you don't like me back, I want to help you. I want to help you live again. We won! Amelie, don't listen to her. Okay. A decisive smile came to Sophia's lips. She had no time to dwell on the sudden kiss, nor her confession that would usually make her feel so nervous she'd be sick. All she had time for was to escape. Her eyes went down the hall, where an enraged Lilica stood in their path. The windows were bolted down, unable to be opened. There was nowhere at all to escape, that is, except. Do you trust me? I do. Sophia didn't need any more of a confirmation. With Amelie in hand, she turned, ran, and jumped. The glass shattered as the two girls hit it hard. They fell, surrounded by the shards, until they hit the ground below. The moon shone from high above, shielded away by the storm that never seemed to end. Amelie, are you okay? Yes, I think so. Sophia rushed to Amelie's side, quickly helping her to sit up. Side by side, they looked up at the remains of the stained glass window. Lilica stood completely still. I can see her. I'm sorry, Lilica, but... Lilica just shook her head. She grasped at her throat with her hands, and her lips moved, but no sound came out. Giving up, she looked back at Amelie, holding eye contact. Her expression wasn't angry anymore. It was just sad. She lifted her hand and waved, a slow and small motion, before she crumbled to dust on the wind. It stopped. Lilica. It seemed it wasn't you bound to this house by her, but the other way around. What am I meant to do now? Amelie, you're free. You can do whatever you wish. Sophia, exhausted, once again wrapped her arms around Amelie, who returned to the gesture almost immediately. There, they embraced under the now free moon. In this manner, in the middle of a field, far out on the countryside, a curse was broken. A young woman freed. What her future held wasn't certain. After all, the future never was. But she made her decision on that fateful night. To trust in the future, to trust in herself. No matter what. Amelie, I'm back from my class. Sophia, quick, come here. Is something the matter? No, look. Amelie held a phone screen up to Sophia, who just laughed in response. You got a 5-star character in that game you like? Isn't it amazing? All I had to do was insert the number on that card you gave me. Oh no, the microtransactions got her. The future truly is astounding. We'll talk about it later. Oh, what's this? I'm not sure. It was slipped under the door while you were out. A plain white envelope sat on the coffee table. Nothing on it identified who sent it, or who it was addressed to. With little concern, Sophia opened it and pulled out a letter. But the words may as well have been a different language, as she could not read them. Her eyes went straight to the name at the bottom of the page. Yours, Lilica. Right, how many endings did I get? Yo, 7 out of 7. My second perfect game. I I don't tend to perfect games, but I guess a visual novel isn't too hard. Right. I'm sorry to cut this a bit short again, although it's on much better terms than last time I cut the stream short. But yeah, that was a ride, and I enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for being with me for it. Good night.